town, which it looks like we're doing now. So,
Yeah,
what are we
so
setting
this
up
area
here?
here, we're joining up with the NCR, with the New California Republic, and we're going to assault a town called Nelson. Nelson used to be an NCR outpost before it was taken over by Caesar's Legion. And Caesar's Legion, they're our bad faction in the game. These are not nice guys. They're this pseudo-Roman military faction. They rolled into town, they burned it to the ground, they crucified the NCR officers that are there. The NCR had to flee and head off and set up camp elsewhere. What you're looking at right here, this is our companion wheel. We have new companions. They're actually a big part of the game now.
Okay.
There are 7 possible companions you can have. Each one of them has their own storyline. They follow you around. We've improved the AI when it comes to combat. But they also grant abilities to the player, new perks. As you go through their personal quests, because they all have their own loyalty missions, you upgrade the companion.
Oh, no, it makes them a little sharper in
They're
combat.
a little sharper in combat. They grant you new abilities. And so with the companion wheel, though, we're letting players easily give commands before you'd have to go through a dialogue tree. And so if you're in combat and you need to give your guy health, you can run right up to him, hit the companion wheel, and give him a couple stim packs.
Boom, there you go.
Exactly.
You don't have to interrupt and say, "Excuse me, how are you doing? Perhaps you would like to use a stim pack."
So we're actually going to back out of here, and we're going to go take on Nelson. We've got the NCR backing us up. We're going to sign up here with Sergeant Cooper. We're going to roll in, and we're going to assault the town.
Now, I'm looking forward to that. I got a question coming in from Katie Wilson in New Mexico. How big is the game world compared to Fallout 3?
We are roughly the same size game as Fallout 3. Fallout 3 is a very big game.
It's very big.
We are a very, very big game as well. Our world map is almost exactly the same size. We have almost exactly the same number of locations. We've got more quests than Fallout 3 did, although we calculate them out a little differently. Fallout 3 would have like one quest that stretched over a long period of time. We have smaller quests that connect to each other because we kind of branch differently. We've got more dialogue in the game. We've got 40% more dialogue because we have so many different options to do among those quests. So this is a very, very big game. There's a lot to do other than just walking around. I mean, we've got gambling, we've got mini games, we got tons of stuff in this game.
No doubt, and including gunning people down with what looks like some kind of light machine gun.
That is the light machine gun, actually. Good call on
Yes.
that. So what you're seeing here is iron sights. We've actually tuned all the weapons now to work better outside of VATS. We know people love VATS, and we still have VATS, but a lot of people wanted to play it more like a first-person shooter. So we've actually tuned all the guns so they work better that way. We've got all of our weapons now, except for the ones that are shot from the hip, like our really, really big ones, have iron sights. And for that, I mean, it's more like you would find in a regular first-person shooter like Halo.
That's exciting. Now, or is this a laser plasma type thing we're seeing?
Yes, it is. This is one of our plasma guns. It is crazy powerful. It will melt enemies.
Yeah, Michael Hudson from Yorktown is asking about new weapons. Can you give us, maybe a highlight of one particular that's a favorite of yours that we're not going to see here today?
Well, I mean, we might see it. My favorite personal weapon right now is the anti-material rifle, which is a huge sniper rifle. I mean, it's just ridiculously large. And it is a crazy powerful, there it is. It is a crazy powerful sniper rifle. And actually, if he can jump to third person here, if you hit the shoulder button, the left shoulder button, that'll jump you into third person. And when you fire that from the hip, if you just fire it, boom, you actually get knocked back. It's so powerful. It's just crazy how powerful that is. By the way, we've tweaked the third person camera to make it more useful. We found that people did want to play in third person, and so we've made it so you can. The targeting is now accurate in third person.
Imagine that.
That's
excellent.
We've made it much more useful.
Over the shoulder looks, much more of a natural fit.
Yes, and for some people, that's what they want to do, so we're accommodating that.
Wonderful. I also noticed that for the HUD, you guys have gone with sort of this, the same style, only it's like a pale yellow instead of the bright green.
It's the amber color we went with.
A little more of the desert.
Exactly. We figured you're going to be out in the desert, so we wanted to tune that a bit.
Omar from Karachi is wondering about skills that could increase your, you're talking about basically increase your iron sight effectiveness. You're talking about how you're enabling players to play from third person view, how you're, allowing them to play more like a first person shooter. Any skills tie into that?
Not directly to iron sights in particular, but I mean all the skills that affect combat certainly affect real-time combat. So things like perception and strength now. The weapons do have a strength requirement, especially the larger weapons. Okay. And these are all things you'll want to build up if you're a very combat-centric player. But you don't have to be, that's the thing. I mean, if you want to play this game entirely as a pacifist, you can. We're letting you do that.
No kidding. No gunplay?
If that's what you want to do, you can do that. It's going to be extremely difficult. On the other hand, we're also letting players play as the complete badass. We have 2,200 characters in the game, and all of them but one can be killed. So we are doing everything we can.
Do I smell an achievement?
There could be an achievement for that.
Mass genocide of the
Yes.
Fallout New Vegas
So
world.
if you want to be evil, we're letting you be extremely evil.
And speaking of evil, right at the end there, it looked like there was a fairly evil-looking thing that the
That was
player was holding
the
on
bladed
to.
gauntlet. That's actually
The bladed
gauntlet is it's a kind of a piecemeal weapon where it's a giant fist that has blades coming out of it, and it's a melee weapon. And like all our melee weapons, you can learn special moves that can be used in bats. And so that one has an uppercut that just kind of goes like that and guts guys. It's pretty crazy.
Gnarly. Now, weapon crafting, Fallen blueprints. Is that we still see that?
We have an extensive crafting mechanic in this game. We actually have an entire skill called survival that directly affects crafting. In this game, you can go up to workbenches again, but also anywhere you see a campfire, you can walk up to them and you can build potions, things like healing powders. You can do poisons that you can add to your weapons.
Okay.
All kinds of things can be built
So a
now.
lot broader array of items.
Absolutely.
As well.
We know people like crafting, and we want to fully embrace that.
Fantastic. All right. One last question here. A lot of folks are asking about connections with other games, notably Alberto from Spain. Does Fallout 3 save data play a role, or does are the connections only to previous Fallout?
We're not letting players import save data or anything like that.
Okay.
We do have connections story-wise, but they're very, very minor.
Yeah.
News travels very, very slowly in this world. So even though we are a couple of years after the events of Fallout 3, there's no airplanes and there are no cars. So these things...
The Pony Express isn't back and running?
No, although we do actually have Mojave Express here.
The Mojave Express?
Yes, but that's only within the Mojave Wasteland.
All right, excellent. So you can, maybe do some courier jobs.
Yes, you can actually earn some money on the side that way.
All right, excellent, Jason. Well, anything else before we wrap it up here? Anything else you want to tell us about Fallout New Vegas?
Just that it's a very large, very, very fun game. I mean, if you like Fallout 3, if you like this world, if you like open world RPGs in general, you are going to love Fallout New Vegas.
You guys are really making a strong bid for like tens and tens of my hours later this year.
No, we've got hundreds. If you go through everything, I mean, our storyline branches very significantly. So to play everything, you're going to need to play it at least twice, usually 3 or more times. So.
It's not looking good for my availability later this year. And speaking of later this year, the date we can play Fallout New Vegas.
In America, we'll be out on October 19th. In Europe, it's October 22nd.
All right, late October. Jason, thank you so much. And a dramatic ending. Wow.
Oh, and look at that. That's C4, by the way. That's one of our other new weapons. That is just fantastic. You can pickpocket people and leave C4 on them. You can do it to multiple people, so you can go around an entire town, give them all C4, hit the detonator, and they all go flying. It's pretty awesome.
Now, that's the kind of thing you want to be able to record.
Exactly.
Precious memories. Jason, thank you so much for coming by and showing off Fallout New Vegas.
Pleasure.
Looking great. All right, folks, up next is back out onto the show floor for more from E3 2010.